There we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. So, yeah, I am Joe Ferruza. I'm the president. Molly is the vice president, and Ethan is the secretary. And yeah, we're the cyber defense organization. um, yeah, so basically, if you guys don't know already, which most of you do, but we're going to be meeting every week or so to discuss and try different types of security related things. Um, I this year definitely want to try and do a lot of like attacker sided stuff. And I talked to Pete and Mark about it, and they said it's all good. We just got to really be careful about what we do. You know what I mean? Um, and yeah. Do you guys got anything?
Well, I guess CDO is something that most people initially know what it is. So CDO stands for Cyber Defense Organization. Basically, um, we are a team of like essentially blue teaming. So we create our own team that's going to be like a SOC. So basically, Davenport will host a competition where a bunch of schools will all come together from around the state, and they will all have different teams that all come to defend from professionals. So there'll be a hired professional red team, and what they're going to try to do is get into your network, your system, and usually, well, last year we had 8 different systems we could run. So Roy did Palo Alto for the firewall. He killed it. But we'll have different things. So we'll have different Linux machines, different Windows-based machines, and then the whole point is we're supposed to operate as if we were a business. So we get injects throughout the day. And injects are ways to earn points, and they have to be done within a certain amount of time period, and you kind of have to be selective of what you do. Some of them build off of one another. So it might be some networking. It might be you need to build like an e-commerce website or create a mailing system. So it's a lot of creation. And then when you have things up and running, that's when the red team gets a little more aggressive. And then they start trying to get into your system. And basically, the whole time you have to try to find where they're at because they're already in always and keep kicking them out. And we end up measuring some points. Last year, we had, what was it, 6 people out of 8?
Yeah, something like that.
We only had 6 people. The teams are supposed to be teams of 8. And apparently we still ended up middle of the road. Like we were definitely a learning team, still trying to figure out what was going on. We didn't have a ton of organization in the beginning, so there wasn't a ton of practice. But kind of the point of regular meetings would be to kind of learn about these things, figure out what it's going to look like, figure out different attack methods, how to prevent things. So
Yeah, pretty
just
much.
kind of, yeah, brainstorming, practicing, playing around, and then the competition itself is usually super, super fun. It's a great networking environment. I think Roy was approached with a job offer last year, but he would have had to quit school for it. So it's usually a pretty fun experience. A lot of the teams will bring lots of caffeine, and it provided like lunch. Last year was kind of a cluster. They had a bunch of networking issues with the rooms, everything up. And the way they try to set it up is where they'll take classrooms, they completely black out everything. So you were stuck in there for a while. Last year we got a delayed start, so we were there for like a full 8 hours. And then usually you have like a gap in the middle. That's when you do lunch. But typically, like they'll even try doing stuff like they'll send in fake sanitation people, like fake people that aren't a part of like the green team, which is like the tech help team and whatever.
Let me add something to this.
Go ahead.
Last year, we actually, and I'm not sure if you guys know this. Um, what's his name? Andy, the student that's in the wheelchair.
I think that's his name, yeah.
Yeah, some of you
Oh
know,
yeah.
we were, I didn't know him personally, but a couple of the guys on our team knew him and were talking to him. And towards the end, we let him come in our room, which was okay because he was part of the green team. But apparently, we got dinged for that because he turned his badge around. And if he turned his badge around, he's no longer on the green team. He's like somebody else.
Oh, so did he like?
Oh my gosh.
Wait, did he do something to us, or was it just because we
No,
let him in?
it's
It
just
was just
because
a
we
security.
yeah.
That's funny.
So I mean, and there's some other stuff too that but I got I got mad about that. I'm like, are
Oh
you
my
serious
goodness.
right now?
I was disappointed. I thought that because there's a couple times some people went in, but they were genuinely helping us out, and we thought they were trying to hack us, and yeah, I was disappointed because I really wanted to like catch a guy trying to plug a USB into our computer or something, you know.
We so and like the last year, I think we did pretty good. So like a good so there was 6 people on our team, right? And I'd say um, at least 4 of us, we were still we didn't know what we were doing, right?
Oh, I
I
had
was
5 days notice.
Yeah, she had 5 days notice. I was on Palo Alto. Um, a week before the competition is the first time I had actually seen a Palo Alto interface. Um,
I thought you did it in the scrimmage one or whatever too.
the
The one in like
oh yeah, you're
November.
right. Yeah.
So
Um,
I thought you were working on it for a minute, but I could have remembered wrong.
I was doing classes, but those were just the videos. I didn't get to actually do
Hmm.
anything with them. Um, so we were all like really, really fresh in what we were doing, which was fine because it
You
was a really
definitely,
good learning experience.
yeah,
And then
you
there was some
don't
Cisco
need a
stuff
ton
in
of
there.
experience by any means.
Yeah, there was some Cisco stuff that we were supposed to do. Like they brought in a router and a switch. None of us knew anything about Cisco. We're like, nope, we're not even
Pretty
I
gonna
much.
knew
try
enough
that.
Linux commands to like change some things, but
Yeah, which is going to be funny because this next one might have nothing to do with Linux. They might have like
yeah,
all Windows stuff.
yeah, they focus on different things, and then afterwards, the red team ends up going through stuff. They make some funny slides of like some crazy stuff they did to people. They make a pretty fun game of it. And the whole day ends up being pretty fun. And since we'll definitely be learning as a whole for the entire team this year, um, I don't think any of us are too concerned about specifically like winning or advancing, but definitely want to build kind of a foundation, get people some more experience, and yeah, get more members for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Does that help you guys understand more what CDO is?
I put a link in the chat too of the I guess you call it like the rule book for the competition.
Mm-hmm.
So if you guys want to see that too. And yeah, so yeah, our meetings are also gonna somewhat tie into the competition in one way or another. Just in just to kind of like get an idea of what they
Can
do.
you Google stuff? Okay, so last year, I don't think you can do this at nationals, but we were allowed to have a laptop. And the idea is anything that's open that you don't have to log into an account for to access, that's free on the internet, you're allowed to use. So we had a laptop, which was nice that we could access and do stuff on. But traditionally, you're not supposed to have any extra computer that's not one of the systems they have. So what that means is if you want to Google stuff or you want to use the internet, you have to get the internet up and running. So you can, but
which we couldn't do because as soon as I got in there, I broke the internet. So
yeah, that too. Yeah. So that is it's definitely possible, but it just depends on their rules this year. They might allow it again, or they might say no. But at that point, yeah, anything that's free on the internet, you're allowed to use. So there's you just can't log into an account to access something that's not free and open source.
Yep.
It looks like we got another person. I imagine we're probably going to get a flow of more people shortly.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah. I also recorded some of it, so if you want to go back or whatever, I'll send everybody an email, but I'm gonna post it on like YouTube or something. So yeah. So yeah, I guess yeah, most of
What
our
are what are your guys' majors and what year are you in?
I'm in cyber defense in junior year.
You're in what?
I just started my junior year.
Okay. And what are you studying?
Cyber defense.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Uh-oh. No, looks like he's cutting out.
Are you kidding me?
We can hear you now.
Kinda.
Okay, all right, cool. So, you want me to talk louder or what?
yeah, you're just cutting in and out.
Maybe
You
not.
might need it. You
try
might need
turning
to
your
type
video off.
this.
Yeah, turn off your video. That might help.
All right, am I in now?
Sort of. Try
All
talking.
right, so digital forensics, and I'm gonna be a junior in my winter semester.
Sounds like Bender from Futurama.
I don't know.
We understood you though.
Yeah,
Digital
yeah.
forensics junior, right?
Junior?
So you're a junior for underwater basket weaving.
Exactly.
Okay.
Awesome. And Molly, you're in cyber defense, right? You're senior.
Mm-hmm. So I'm actually graduating this December, but since I am a senior of this calendar year for the school year, I'm still allowed to compete in the second semester.
Okay. Sweet. Well, I don't know. I guess we'll kind of get started with today's I guess you'd call it demonstration. um, yeah, like I said, I'm recording, so I'll just if anybody misses the meeting or whatever, I'll just email it to them. How do I share my screen? Oh, now it says I can't share my screen. Of course. Give me 1 second.
Oh, it's nice to meet you. Awesome.
Huh. It says I don't have permissions.
Oh,
I literally just shared my screen like a couple hours ago.
Rip.
Let's try this. No. Oh, that one thing we specifically turned off. Okay. And it's oh my gosh, come on.
Oh, that's no problem.
Yeah. Let's see. Sorry, I tried this before, but for some reason it's not doing it again.
It looks like it's letting me.
That's weird. I don't know.
Do you have like a
Hello.
PowerPoint slide?
Do I have a what? I'm sorry.
Is
Hi.
it like a PowerPoint slide?
Hello.
No, it's a virtual machine. Hi.
Hello.
Is your name pronounced Asha?
Yep.
Okay. So you're a freshman in cybersecurity.
Yep.
Perfect. We did go over a little bit already about what CDO is. And I believe Joseph is sending out a recording that will have those details in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he wanted to show a demonstration right now. So that's what's going on at the moment.
Okay.
I keep saying I don't have permission. Let me leave and rejoin. Try this
Oh.
again.
Try a different browser too.
Yeah, actually.
Is it?
Did that work for you guys? Can you see that?
Yeah, I can
I
see
can
your
see it,
thing.
yeah.
You know, we're just hanging out in here trying to
Yeah.
get a web browser to work.
Okay, I'm asking myself to join. Oh, this is my. Okay,
It's your
hello.
alter ego. It's your alter ego.
This is my alt account. Yeah. All right, let me see if I can join on this. I can hear myself now.
Oh, that's really uncomfortable. I would not like that.
That's fine. I talk to myself all the time.
Yeah, but it's not like speaking and then immediately hearing your voice after.
I hear voices too.
Oh yeah. Okay, can you guys see it now? Okay,
Yes.
good. There we go. Okay. All right, now we're in business here or whatever. Okay, so I guess the first meeting we're gonna show how to crack passwords. I guess this is relative to the competition specifically because I believe last year we had an SQL server, and somebody actually dumped a bunch of passwords into our shared folder. And yeah, that was in our SQL server, but it was in my folder for some reason. I don't know why. And I was the DNS, DNS, and what else was it? Active Directory machines. So yeah, so we're gonna show how to crack passwords today, basically. Um, so one thing I gotta say, teachers told me to, do not try this without permission. You know, because you could go to jail, and jail's not fun. I heard so. Yeah.
Do you have a permission?
To hack me, no. But yeah, no. So yeah, I guess we'll get right into it here. So I guess we'll try to attempt to crack the MD5 hash algorithm. So okay, so let's show you here. Right. Oh, now I don't have internet, of course. Here, I'll just do this. Can you guys see my browser by any chance?
No, not if it's on a
No, we
second
can't.
monitor.
All right. Okay, so MD5, I'll just explain it. So MD5, it's a they call it a hash algorithm, right? Or basically, so what happens is when you sign up for an account or something, it stores your password in a database, right? But the password is encrypted, so in case the database gets leaked, the passwords are still useless, right? So the only real way to combat that is to just basically take some passwords, encrypt them, and if they look like the same encrypted password, then it's the password, right? So most people don't use MD5 anymore though, because MD5 is really old, and as computers get faster and faster, so do the encryption algorithms have to keep up. Basically, they have to become harder to crack and make the computer slower and whatnot. Um, so I guess we'll show here. You guys can still see the VM, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
All right. So I guess and we're doing this in Python, by the way, the Python programming language. So the situation, right? The scenario, for example, is we're in the competition, right? And the hackers got into our database and they got our passwords. So the next thing they would probably do is brute force them, they call it. And they would most likely do that in Python. So we're going to show it here. So one of the first things you do in Python is you import modules. So one of the first things we're going to do is import MD5. And I'm also going to import the time module, and you'll see why in a second. I got an encrypted password. So just as a example, I'm going to encrypt a password and say it's our database, right? So give me 1 second. All right. So let's say my password is password123, right? This is what the encrypted version of that is. This bunch of random letters and numbers here. Okay, so we're gonna say encrypted password equals this, right? So basically, we're setting the script or the computer to say this is what our encrypted password is, right? And then we're gonna try and decrypt that. So I'm gonna set a counter here. So basically, um, so for every password we try, it's gonna go up one just to kind of keep track, right? So if we test 1,000 passwords, it's gonna show us that we're on the 1,000th password, right? Um, so and then we'll say the dictionary equals, and then I'm sure a lot of you know this. If you guys don't, so the RockU text file, it's this right here. Here, I'll open it. I tried opening it just by double clicking it and my computer died, so I'm gonna open it in a terminal. So basically, it's just a giant list of possible passwords. I think exactly it's 14 million or so. So yeah, as you can see here, and some of them are kind of graphics, so get ready for that. I think one in here, yeah, see? So yeah, just be careful of that if you ever explore this. Um, but yeah, so it's basically a giant list of passwords, right? So we defined our dictionary, we defined our encrypted password. So now we're gonna try and just open it. I like to do this just to be more organized and stuff. You don't have to. You can just tell the script to open it, basically. Oops. And then we're going to set it to only have read access. So, because that's all we need. We just need the program to look at it, basically. And then if this is basically if the file doesn't exist, just print file doesn't exist, right? And then quit. All right. And then this is where the magic happens. So for password in dictionary, so this is basically saying for every single line of text, we're going to do something in that dictionary file, right? So we're going to just define the how to encrypt the passwords, right? So MD5, oops, dot new, and then password dot strip basically just converts it so the computer understands it. separates it line by line basically. And then dot hex digest. Right. So basically, what this does here is I'm setting ENC. I'm basically saying every time I call the ENC function, we're gonna encrypt every password line by line, and then we're gonna convert it into a hex just to so it's easier to read and stuff. And then we're gonna show basically what's going on here. So you'll see what I'm doing here in a second. Attempt number, and then Python likes to start with 0. So like 0 is actually the first thing, and then 1 is the second thing, right? So, and you'll see what I'm doing here in a second. And then I'll put. Oops. All right, I believe I did that right. So, and then dot format. So, and then 0 is where the counter is going to be. So once it tries the first password, it's going to show attempt number 1, right? And then second is attempt number 2, right? So, and then after that, it's going to be attempt number 2 and then password dot strip. So basically, it's going to show us that we're at attempt number 1. This is what the password is, and then we're going to show the encrypted version of that. So ENC. And then counter plus equals 1, right? So every time we try something, it's going to go up 1. So password number 1, password number 2, password number 3, right? And then I'm going to put this here. You usually don't want to do this just because, you want this to be as fast as possible because brute forcing passwords could take a long time. But I'm just going to do it just to show everybody what it looks like. So 0.05. So every 0.5 seconds, it'll take a break basically. And then if encrypted password equals, oops, what did we say? ENC, yeah. So basically now we're saying if our encrypted password, the database, equals the passwords we encrypted in rocku.txt, then print match found. Oops. And then just, I don't know, do an arrow, right? And then plus password. So basically, once we find what if encrypted password equals the passwords that we encrypted and tried, then that's obviously the password, right? So it's literally comparing the two, and if they have the same hash, then we're golden. And then just break, because we don't want it to run after we found the password. We want just to stop. And then else print password not found. So that means if the password's not found, then it's not in rocky.txt. You got to try a different dictionary. I hope I did this all correctly.
You mind if I say something?
Yeah, sure.
Can you pull the script back up? All right. So what the script is doing behind the scenes is, it's not actually decrypting the
Yeah,
MD5.
it's encrypting and then comparing, right?
Correct.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's basically encrypting every single one of the passwords in that list that he pulled up, and then it's comparing what that encrypted password is to the one he has already listed there. And if the two encrypted passwords match, then you found the password.
Exactly. Yeah, he said it better than I did. Yeah, no, literally. So yeah, it just takes. So for the first thing it'll do is yeah, basically that's one of the methods they try to get our passwords. I think that like keyloggers and stuff come pre-installed, but sometimes we'll have users like fake users in a database, and they'll have their passwords and they'll try to basically leak them. Um, so yeah, no, like just like Roy said, yeah. So it'll take this first password, encrypt it, And if it looks like this here, then that's the password, you know. If it's not, it'll move on. So yeah. So I guess let's try it here. Hopefully I did this right. So yeah. Oh. Oh. It actually spelt rockyou.txt. I don't know why it did that. Huh. Let's see here. So instead, basically what happened is instead of going through all the passwords in the dictionary, it just literally encrypted every letter of the file. um, I think we can do that. Yeah, okay, so now it's going to try to go through all them. And as you can see, so what it's doing is it's showing the attempt number, then encrypting, and this is the encrypted version. And as you guys can see, it doesn't look like our original version of our password. So yeah, as you can see here, this does not equal this, so it's moving on. And this could take a while, so I'm just going to stop the timer. Oops. Now this is what it looks like when we get rid of the timer. I tested it earlier, and I think after like 30 seconds, it went to 9 million passwords. Oh, but it found it. Okay. So yeah, as you can see, it went through almost 1,500 passwords pretty much instantly, and it found that the password is password123. And this is the hash that it encrypted, right? And then it's the same as this, as you can see here. So yeah, one of the biggest things to learn from this is, well, obviously don't have your database leaked first of all, and then if it does though, always have really big passwords because let's say for example I'm just going to delete the hash, but let's say, for example, we do have a hash here, and that in the hash is a password that's like 15 characters long, right? It could take forever. I've seen, well, I haven't seen, but I know a lot of people, they spend months, maybe years trying to crack passwords, um, and they still don't get anywhere. So, yeah. Yeah, that's all I wanted to show you guys. Any questions or anything?
I do have one. So, um, basically, to crack a password, you need a hash code for that, right? Hash value of
Yeah,
the
you
password.
you originally need the hash, and that's usually stored in the database.
Okay,
We're
so
basically assuming that the hacker already found the database and he
mhm,
took a copy of it, basically.
does the hash value depends on how many characters there are?
I don't think so. I think they're generally all the same length and whatnot. Um, I think though there's, and I could be wrong, but I think it's called salting. That basically adds a bunch of random letters and numbers at the end of it that don't. I think it depends on the length. I could be wrong though. I'd have to check on that. But yeah, they usually are about the same length or so.
Okay.
So yeah, that's all I wanted to really share for this meeting. Our next meeting will have a lot more to do. I knew that not a lot of people would show because they have class and whatnot. But yeah, that's it.
So, so sorry, I had to step away for a sec.
That's fine.
There are different hashing algorithms
Yeah,
that
yeah,
will be longer and add different characters. There's like SHA-256.
yeah, yeah.
And you're right. The salting adds to the end of it. And what he said is we're basically assuming that the hacker already did it. What we just did is called an offline attack, which is kind of the only real way to do a brute force password attack, unless your database and website is very poorly set up. If you want to do a brute force password attack on a website or database nowadays, um, there's time limits or timers. So if you try to do more than one password login in a certain series of times or a certain time limit, it times out. And so trying to do the 14 million passwords with the server timing out on you every 10 seconds would, I mean, this is just not possible.
Yeah, no, it's very unrealistic. Yeah. But actually, speaking of that, I don't know why I don't have internet for some reason, but um, for our Ubuntu servers or any Linux server for that matter, for the competition, there's actually something called fail to ban, which is what you see here, and that actually is similar to what Roy was saying. They kind of detect when a brute force is happening and just block it pretty much. Um, so yeah, that's one good thing to definitely install on your systems. They mostly do it for systems that um, are out in the public world, like servers and whatnot. But it's always good to have because somebody could be trying to brute force whatever you got open in a port or whatever. It might be SSH or whatever, but yeah, it definitely helps a lot.
That's good. I have another question. So, based on that, if we keep our passwords already hashed, is there any way for them to reverse the algorithm and get the value of them?
Um, I I don't remember. I think there is some uh like MD. I think actually MD5 is that way. I can't. I know there is some, but they're like really old. Like a lot of these new ones, they're pretty much impossible because the algorithm is so strong. Like for example, right? X plus X equals 5, right? So a lot of things could equal 5. You don't know the true answer, right? So it's a matter of just kind of guessing. And when you get to like advanced encryption stuff, uh, it's so difficult. Like I don't know how to explain it. Um, but yeah, it's like that basically. Like the RSA encryption. I know that to be able to decrypt it has a lot of math, and you also need a lot of variables before you can decrypt it. So it's not impossible, but at the same time, it's very difficult for most things.
Okay, so
Well, and put it
my
this
next
way: if the hashing algorithm can be reversed, the algorithm is considered broken.
Yeah,
It's no longer considered secure.
like
Mhm.
MD5. Yeah,
Yeah. So there's, like I said, SHA-256. There was also one called SHA-1. Um, you kind of still see it out there a little bit, but if you do, then just be careful what you type into it because it's thoroughly broken.
yeah, yep.
All right.
Well, yeah, I guess that's it for this meeting. Like I said, yeah, I kind of wanted to keep it small because I knew most people weren't going to be able to show up. But yeah, next meeting it will definitely have a lot more fun things to do and whatnot. By the way, I think I already said this a couple times, but I'm gonna send out a poll basically, for everybody to put like what times work for them and stuff. So if you guys could fill that out, that would help a lot. And then our next meeting up, honestly, I think most people are gonna vote for like the weekend. So, yeah. So yeah, it was nice meeting you all.
Awesome. Did you say you were recording this?
Yes, I am.
Okay, yeah. Just send that in an email, please.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'll either get it done tonight or tomorrow. I'll send everybody an email with the link. So,
Thank you, though.
yeah.
Nice meeting you guys.
Yeah, nice meeting you too.
Yeah, nice meeting you too, man. See you
Hey,
next week.
great job, everybody. Thank you.
Nice
Sure.
meeting all of you.
All right. So I guess we're done. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah. See you
Thank
all
you.
next week.